Jay from ASMR for Nerds. So today, I'm gonna do my weekly comic shop haul. A lot of good stuff today. Not necessarily everything that's new this week. Some stuff I didn't pick up last week, and a couple other things. So a lot to go through. A good stack here, and a nice little surprise at the end. If you care. We'll see if you even make it to the end. One thing I have today is these Lifesaver candy cane flavored Lifesavers. I already had one, as you can see, and they're really good. So I thought I'll have some of these while I'm talking to you guys. So I had a little cat hair though. Okay, so I'm gonna move these aside, and we'll take a look at this one first. So first we have Miss Marvel #1. So this is like a reboot, a post-Secret Wars reboot. I love this cover. I love the colors of it. I really like the artist on this book. So anyway, Miss Marvel was a book that had got a ton of traction about last year. I think I've told you guys about Miss Marvel, but real quick again, she's the first, Muslim mainstream superhero. So she's dealing with a lot of prejudices and stuff like that. So it is definitely a different take on this sort of character. They stayed with the same artist, the same writer, and I think it's a different artist on this one. Although the artwork is not too different, honestly I'm not sure. They stuck with the same writer, and I think a different artist. I think sticking with the artist was a great idea. So here we go. Miss Marvel is now a freaking Avenger. Good for her. So I guess this is the new Avengers lineup. Invincible Iron Man, Vision, Spider-Man, I believe that's Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Nova, the Lady Thor, and Sam Wilson, Captain America. So Miss Marvel, I think it's one of my favorite books of the past year, although it's not really a style that I normally go for. There's a lot of stories that are like coming out about kind of quirky girls, and it's kind of overdone just a bit. I feel like all the girl characters that are coming out are very similar, almost like they're pandering to, one type of fan. Nothing wrong with that, switching it up, but not really what I'm looking for in comics. I do like the new, actually I believe this is the same artist. This definitely looks like the same art. Although it looks like it changes in the middle of it, which is weird. See? A little different style, like thicker lines, and cartoony. And this is the old style. That's weird. I wonder why that happened. Anyway, forgot what I was saying, but that's fine. So, while I was at the comic shop today, I noticed that the comic store I went to today was Midtown Comics in Manhattan. For those of you who like the comic book shop I go to is Midtown Comics in Manhattan. And little tip for any of you in the area. I feel like there might be a couple here. They're having a 25% off everything sale on Black Friday. So, it's a little, I think their website, they're doing something similar. So, if you're not in the area, maybe check out their website. It's midtowncomics.com. I promise I have no affiliation with them other than I go there a lot. Anyway, so this is Sam Wilson, Captain America number 3. This is kind of a silly issue, but I like it. It's Cap Wolf. So Captain America is a werewolf. I did read this issue, and it's pretty good, huh? Without giving too much away. So Captain America was, there he is as a wolf. Apparently, it seems like in his past, Captain America was turned into a wolf before, because they make references in here to him being a wolf, being a wolf again, and he's really annoyed. I feel like this might have been like a Halloween story that came maybe a month later. But, see, you have like all these mutated human animals. There's a turtle, looks like a ninja turtle. That looks like Bebop or Rocksteady, whichever one was the boar. So I'm not sure what this is, but this is an advertisement for Spidey number 1. It looks like they're doing like an old school Spider-Man comic, which sounds great because the new Spider-Man, I do like it. Written by Dan Slott. This one is written by Ravi Thompson. But the new Spider-Man is super modern. There's a lot of references to modern technology and apps and stuff. This looks like a classic Spider-Man, but that's just my guess based off of the art style and the name. And it says before he was amazing. Spidey. So that was a look at Captain America. Cap Wolf, number 3. Okay, here is one. The Mighty Thor, number 1. This is another reboot. I did not read the female Thor run before this. But I'm starting with the number 1. I'm going to give it a shot. I heard very mixed things about it. I'm a fan of Thor. You're a typical Thor. So, I didn't like too much that they changed it up, but one thing this is nice and colorful. One thing that kind of bothers me a little bit about all these new people taking over characters. Like I said, I'm all for diversity, and I think it's great that there are more black and gay and female and, different characters from different walks of life. I think that's great. But say for instance, Captain America, he's black now. Sam Wilson is a different guy, but the thing that bothers me about that is that it's just a matter of time until Steve Rogers, the original white Captain America, we all know he's going to have that title back. So something feels very temporary about it, almost like it's not real or worth it. I think they should have just gone ahead and pushed a Falcon popular opinion or what, but like, and here you go, you have Thor. You know this female Thor, no matter how much they develop her, the real Thor is gonna come back. I think that it's almost kind of transparent with what their intentions are. Like, rope in different readers from different ethnicities and genders, and then just kind of yank the carpet under them and say, okay, now you're reading female Thor, we got you. Now Thor is a man again. So, I don't know. Anyway, I think it brings an interesting dynamic to the comic book universe, but... Okay, next. Web Warriors #1. Protectors of the Spider-Verse. I like this cover. It almost looks like an Alex Ross painting, but I know it's not. So, Web Warriors. From the little bit I know here, which we have the big Spider-Man from Spider-Gwen. He's like an imaginary thing, I think. Spider-Gwen. This is the British Spider-Man, I know that. And I'm not sure who the rest of these are. So basically, the little I know about this is the Web Warriors are basically time-traveling Spider-Men who protect the continuity of time. I like the art in this page. It's kind of looks like different styles mixed together. Look at that. This looks like you're almost like an Umberto Ramos Spider-Man, very detailed. But then here you have very, very cartoony villains. That's kind of weird. Look at that. I kind of like that. Let's see if I lift this, if you can get a better look. Interesting. Holy smokes, it's a whole team of Spider-Man. Yes, it is. This is great. So, if any of you are coming from Reddit, you might recognize this. This is a meme that has popped up over the years of Spider-Man, I think from the 60s or 70s. There's a panel of him sitting at a desk, and people have filled in the text bubble to say funny things. And so it looks like they're doing that. I'll read you this panel. That stung, but it didn't hurt. Is Electro still out there? What? No. But there is a big supervillain heist going on, and outside you're just sitting here. What are you doing? Oh, I think I see what they're doing here. So since they're traveling back in time, now I'm excited to read this. They traveled back in time to a time when Spider-Man was drawn like this. Look, we have the Green Goblin. We have the Green Goblin drawn like a cartoon, and here's Spider-Man drawn in that cartoony way. There we go, that makes sense now. I kind of like that. That's a great idea. It's like old Spider-Man cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoon style, and they're going back to that time. I love that. Okay, and it looks like now this is the main story. I'm gonna grab another lifesaver. I was thinking about doing a video with mostly eating mouth sounds and stuff. I don't know how I'd incorporate that into the theme I've set up for myself here. mind because I feel like there's an endless amount, but I'm going to do my best to stick with the theme. I'm not sure if you guys have seen, I have another video up where I'm reading through the Infinity Gauntlet. I also tried a video game video where I'm playing Mega Man 2 through. If you guys like that or haven't seen it, check it out now. Let me know if you like that. I'll do some more of that. I've also gotten some suggestions for manga, anime, specific books, so keep those coming. I do read those, and I'd love to do some. I went to the store and actually looked for some of the things that were suggested to me, and I couldn't find any this time, but there's another comic book store that I go to that has a bigger selection of more Japanese and I guess obscure stuff. So speaking of obscure, this book is a lot of fun. I read the first issue last month. It's called The Pitiful Human Lizard by Chapter House Comics. So, the main character, from what I remember, I have to say, I read these books a month ago, and it's hard to keep all of the storylines and names and everything in my head. So, every time I read a book, I'll have to it takes a second for it to come back to me, like where the story is and the characters' names, but anyway, so, here we go. His name is Lucas Barrett, and so from what I remember, his father was a character called the Human Lizard, and he's kind of taking on his father's superhero thing, and it's similar to Wolverine. He basically regenerates. If you cut off his arm, he'll grow a new one, kind of like a real lizard. Like an iguana, how they shed their tails and grow new ones. So I really liked the first issue. So like I've said a million times, I'll usually give first issues a try, and then if I like it, I will continue until I lose interest, or until it finishes. There's only a handful of books I really stick with from beginning to end. Because there's just, I buy so many. I'm not that rich. I'm not rich at all. But I'm definitely not rich enough to, buy 40 comics a week. I still buy a good amount. Okay, so that's a look at The Pitiful Human Lizard. Hey, let's take a look at, there's nothing much about the publisher. Okay. One thing I think I'm gonna do more of is maybe I'll do a video where I'm not even talking, just flipping pages. That's some of my favorite noises, so I imagine it's some of yours too. So here we have The Extraordinary X-Men number 2 by Jeff Lemire and Humberto Ramos. Now this story got so far is getting some pretty bad reviews. I don't know why, because it's kind of setting up something, and I think it's setting up something interesting. So what's going on here is, in this timeline, Wolverine is dead. But if you know comics and have heard about Old Man Logan, after Secret Wars, Old Man Logan is still alive. And Storm is trying to gather all the mutants that are in the world to keep them safe because the world is, as usual, or even worse now, trying to eliminate mutants. There's a very deep and bad prejudice against mutants in this story. So in the Old Man Logan story, there is this page kind of shows you Mystique, I think, or I forgot who, made Wolverine kind of, he tricked him to make him think that the other X-Men were like robot bad guys, so he sliced them up, killed all of them. Of course, this happened in a parallel universe, in the Old Man Logan universe. But in the Old Man Logan story, he kills them and then it says he'll never sheath his claws again. And I'm not going to tell you what happens in that, but it's a classic at this point. And it's worth reading. Maybe we'll read through that one day, I don't know. So Old Man Logan is back here. He somehow ended up in this universe. And they're trying to get him to rejoin the X-Men, and he's not into it. He thinks he's a dangerous bad guy. So I think it's a good story. Not getting good reviews, but that's okay. Some of my favorite comics got bad reviews. Okay, next. We have Huck by, I believe, Mark Millar, yep. So, speaking of Old Man Logan, Mark Millar is the one who wrote Old Man Logan. I don't know anything about this story other than Mark Millar wrote it, so I think it's worth giving a shot. Mark Millar's last book that I read that I really liked was Chrononauts. I think that was only like a 5-issue series or so. But it was really good. It was a lot of fun. So, not knowing anything about this, I'm going to give it a shot. Art looks good. Kind of looks like the artist from Chrononauts. I wonder if it's the same one. So from just the art, and this is pure speculation, it looks like a kind of a good old boy getting into some trouble. Maybe that's it. I really like this cover. Like watercolor. I don't know, it's nice. It's Huck by Mark Millar. Not much to say about it. Okay, next. Oh, this one looks like it's fun. Secret Wars 2, number 1. There you go. The cover. I bought this mainly because of the cover. I didn't know this was coming out, but Victor Von Doom, most likely to become God, a god, twice. So let's read about what this is about. The multiverse was destroyed. The heroes of Earth 616 and Earth 1610 were powerless to save it. Well, now, all that remains is Battleworld. Here are some silly stories about it. So we got different stories, and let's see who wrote them. We have one by Jonathan Hickman, one by Al Ewing, one by Kate Leth, Kyle Starks, Rob Guillory, Ryan Brown, Eric Powell. So, cover art by Chip Zdarsky. There you go, Chip Zdarsky from Jughead and Sex Criminals and a lot of things these days. So, I guess this is just like an anthology of several stories, like lighthearted, kind of silly stories from the Secret Wars universe. Different art for each see his name on there. Kind of that old-fashioned cartoon style. What is this, Wolverine Daredevil? Weird. Okay, looks like Pee-wee Herman. Oh, Galactus. Behold, a domain where Galactus rules Hell's Kitchen, and a small team of heroes forms a reluctant alliance with the World Devourer in order to save their world. Jessica Jones as Herald number 1147. Daredevil as official keeper of Galactus's internet passwords. And Spider-Man as barely tolerated IT guy. Let's just read this page and see what's going on. Who dares hack the food blog of Galactus? To me, my heralds, in all of my eons of existence, never have I seen a day as dark as this. My most precious creation, the crown of my cosmic awareness, my beloved food blog has been violated. Truly a being such as I is above such concepts as good and evil. But this is some vile. Seriously, surely we are dealing with a being who dwells in the abyss of infinite darkness. Meanwhile, in the abyss of infinite darkness. Funny. I like the art on this. I love Galactus on his little iPhone. There's another one, another ad for Spidey. Ooh, what is this? I love these kind of anthology books. They really give you a chance to see different artists. A lot of the times they'll have new artists working with known writers to kind of showcase them. So this is Secret Wars 2, number 1. I'm excited to read this one. I like when they kind of do different things. Next, Clean Room number 2. Now my first comic book shop video, I showed you guys Clean Room number 1 and told you if it was good, I would let you know. And here I am looking at number 2, which means yes, it was good. It was, so it's like a paranormal kind of story, it seems, although not much has been revealed. There's this, woman who kind of supposedly leads a cult of people that follow her based off of a book that she wrote. And apparently she's a very, I don't know, almost like L. Ron Hubbard, the guy who started Scientology. Like a very elusive, kind of weird, eccentric leader. And there's some monsters and paranormal stuff involved. And again, not much has been revealed yet. But the way that story has been told in the first issue definitely was good. And was made it. I was kind of excited for a number 2, so here at Joe Hill from Lock and Key, which is a good story. He said, only the unclean mind of Gail Simone could have opened a door to the disorienting, crooked cabinet of Clean Room. Read immediately. And this is a Vertigo comic, which is basically, Vertigo is just a subsidiary of DC Comics. Kind of like their independent wing, I guess. Next, he's my favorite Superman. Here he is, classic Superman. Classic Superman look, although it's his new outfit still, with Bugs Bunny. I guess it's Looney Tunes variant cover. I guess they're putting out Looney Tunes variants this month. Okay, so for the the last story, Superman was taken over by the Wrath. The Wrath is kind of similar to Venom. No, I don't know if it's an alien or what, but it's supposedly like just pure rage that takes over in this form of like a goo. It makes you really angry. And like I told you guys in this current Superman run, Superman has lost some of his powers, so he's not as strong or invulnerable as he used to be. So it must have been easier for this thing to take over. I'm gonna grab another one of these. Let's find a splash page to look at while I do that. No splash pages, what's going on here? This is Action Comics. There should be one. There we go, I guess the last page. Frankenstein. I'm trying to keep it festive here, although Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet. I know you guys have noticed all the Christmas stuff around. It just gets earlier and earlier every year. I like Christmas time. I think it's not. I'm not a religious guy by any means, but I don't know. It's a good excuse to get together with friends and stuff. Buy, be irresponsible with money, which is always fun. Okay, next, Martian Manhunter number 6. Told you guys about this story a bunch of times, and this one I'm sticking with. Still good, still fun and interesting. It's got a good kind of sci-fi, modern sci-fi feel to it. One thing I noticed about DC comic pages, they seem very, very thin. They kind of differ between their books. Some DC books are glossy, thick paper. So what's going on here in this story is Martian Manhunter kind of broke himself up and put a piece of him into several different people. Like, this is like an old man superhero. I believe this girl's from the Middle East or something. She's like a acrobatic, athletic type. Or at least that's what they say it's going on. It looks like that might not necessarily be. Oh my. Wow, look at that bait. That's a splash page. Harley Quinn. There's so much Harley Quinn stuff out now. She's like the new Deadpool. I'm not sure who was the Deadpool before Deadpool. Maybe Wolverine. That number one popular guy. Harley Quinn is now selling everything. Everything she's on sells. Okay, next. Wrath of the Eternal Warrior. What do they say about this? Wrath of the Eternal Warrior number 1 firmly establishes itself as the best first issue to come out of Valiant. Yet, that's saying a lot. Valiant is, actually I learned a lot about Valiant comics from an ASMR or ASM artist that I'm sure if you guys watch my videos, you watch his probably even more. Chycho, Chycho. I am a fan of Valiant Comics, although I've only started buying their books at their relaunch in 2013 or 2012. I started buying their books at their relaunch in 2013 or 2012. history. He did a video where he's reading through a Bloodshot book, the first appearance of Bloodshot, and he was talking a lot about the history of Valiant Comics. And they kind of have a tumultuous past, but they're very relevant and significant to the history or the modern history of comics. At one point, they were the third biggest publisher, and that was new to me. So, thanks, Chicho, for the lesson. I'm going to do more reading on the history of a lot of these characters and books, so that I could maybe teach you guys something. I have a lot to learn about comics. I read a ton, and I know a good amount, but there's so much to know. Okay, so next, Deadpool number 2. I know I've said I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan, but lately Deadpool has been a lot of fun to read, so as long as it continues to be that fun, I'm going to keep buying it. Let's read what the first page says. I got a ton of books to go through, and I actually am running out of time today. And hopefully you guys are dozing off, or have already dozed off by now. I feel like it's rare that people get through videos to the end. I know for me, I don't really get through. If I'm watching one of my favorites, Ephemeral Rift, that guy's great. I'm sure you guys have seen him. He does so many weird things with his videos, and I am personally a fan of his Candyman videos. Who else? ASMR requests, Allie on there. She's great. She was the first one that I really was watching religiously and donating to her Patreon page. Springbok, ASMR Circus, and of course Chicho. Those are my favorites. I think those are the most popular too, but if that is the case, it's for a reason. They really know what they're doing. When it comes to just quality of the content, the video itself, and the audio, I never expect to get to that level, but a lot of respect for those guys. Okay, so this is Charles Soule, The Uncanny Inhumans. I know I have not spoken very highly of Charles Soule, but first issue was good. I did like it. Although I kind of would love any story with Kang in it. So Kang is he's a villain in the Marvel Universe that basically controls time. Here, let's read what the first issue is about. Queen Medusa took sole control over the Inhumans when her ex-husband, King Black Bolt, released enormous clouds of Terrigen mist into the atmosphere, transforming many who had no idea they were secretly inhuman. This caused Black Bolt his throne and led him to give his and Medusa's son, Ahura, into the care of the time-traveling madman, Kang the Conqueror. A failed mission to take Ahura back has led Black Bolt back to New Adelan to seek the help of Medusa. Instead, he has found her in the arms of her new flame. So, that's what's going on here. The Inhumans I'm kind of finding to be more and more interesting the more I read. And that's not necessarily because of the writers. It's just the idea. It's kind of like the X-Men, but I like them better than the X-Men. I love Black Bolt. I love that their leader is a guy who can't even speak. He's so stoic and serious. And I wonder who's going to play him in the movies. I've been saying that a great Black Bolt would be Keanu Reeves. serious look. I know a lot of people are down on Keanu, but I'm a huge fan. I love him. And his last movie, John Wick, was great. I don't know anyone who saw it who said it wasn't. Okay, so next. I bought this mainly because of the cover. The first issue was not that good. I didn't like it that much, but this is a Frankavilla cover. So should I eat another burger? He asks the machine that says, ask me a yes or no question. So Eric Anderson does the art for this. I've told you guys that before. She is the girl who draws for Squirrel Girl. I'm not really a big fan of her artwork. Although it's, clearly she is skilled in her style. So I'm not saying anything bad, it's just not what something about it. It's hard to even say what it could be. So Jughead basically is a skinny high school nerd who loves hamburgers. He kind of reminds me of like a young Homer Simpson. And of course, the back of every Archie issue, or Jughead issue too, they give you a classic story that I almost never read. I'm sure they're good, but I was never a fan of classic Archie. Jughead, it's kind of weird how they drew him. He was supposed to be a high school kid, but he looked like an old man all the time. There's your classic Betty and Veronica. Okay, so that is Jughead. Number 2. Maybe number 2 will be better than number 1. Next is this is a book I believe that came out over the summer. This is an indie book called Seth Kushner's Secret Sauce Comics Volume 1. This one's in a bag, so I'm going to take it out. So this one, I kind of bought on a whim. I don't know anything about it. Seth Kushner is an indie comic artist and writer. Here's the back of the book. It says, "The Incredible Seth kicks leukemia's ass. He's here, Brooklyn's greatest hero." So, I'm taking it that Seth Kushner himself had cancer, which is too bad, but... Oh, okay, so first page, he goes into it. Let's read it, or some of it, maybe. Okay, so this is good news. The year 2014 was the toughest of my life. I spent every day from April until December living in a hospital room, away from my family and battling leukemia. I'm glad to say I ended the year on a happy note, with my disease defeated and making new comics. So, I am beyond grateful to be alive to see 2015, especially since my doctors told me I was 100% going to die within days. Wow, but I didn't die. Instead, I got better. Secret sauce was the key, but that's a story for another time. Wow, it's a little heavy. For any of you who might be sensitive to that stuff, I know, honestly, I am. I have tendencies towards hypochondria and worrying about health. I kind of dip in and out of feeling like that. I'm sure some of you do too. But there you go. Doctor said he wasn't going to be okay, and he was okay. And he made this comic, so testament to that. Right on, Seth Kushner. I already read this on the way home from the comic shop. This is another kind of anthology of his work. This was my favorite part. This one. So he has, it's called Harvey Becar Complaining. And it's Harvey Becar from American Splendor, which is a comic that was written by R. Crumb, was drawn by R. Crumb and written by Harvey Becar. And it was the first comic that was basically just about nothing, about a curmudgeon complaining. And they made a movie about it called American Splendor. It was a great movie. And Paul Giamatti played Harvey Becar. Pretty heavy movie. Depressing at times, but a great story. I'm a very big R. Crumb fan. R. Crumb was he wrote independent comics. During a time where there was the Comics Authority Code or something that kind of censored comics, and he was kind of doing it on his own. These really he's like underground, kind of sexist and kind of racist, but his comics were done in a way that kind of stuck it to censorship. So although they come off as that, they were very unique and a very unique style. Maybe we'll do a video on R. Crumb stuff. I got a bunch of R. Crumb books. Okay, so last I'm going to show you Daredevil number 15.1. Now this is a book that came out months ago. Look at that. Okay, I'm not going to take it out because it's sealed. So what this is, as you can see, it is signed. So I walked in the comic shop and I saw this behind the counter. It was covered like that. And I saw this cover that I recognized and said, wait a second, that's not an incentive cover. And why is it $30? And the guy took it out and showed me it's signed by Mark Waid, the writer of Daredevil. And again, I've talked about him at length. And he's done some just amazing things. And this signing was limited to only 60 issues. I got number 51, although I would have liked to get an earlier one, but I kind of bit and spent $30 on this book that I already have just because it was signed by Mark Waid. But it is nice to have this certificate of authenticity by Dynamic Forces, which is a well-known kind of company that does that, authenticates signatures and books. So now I have that. I have a couple of more books signed by Mark Waid. I think I'm going to do a video of all my signed books because I have a good amount of those and enough to do a video. Alright guys, so that's it. That is my those are the books I got this week at the comic store. I think it's a good haul. I have a lot to read. I don't know if you guys if you guys go every week and have found new books that are good. Let me know. I'm always looking for new things to read. I guess that's it, guys. I'll see